Hello viewers, I am Rakib. In this lesson, I will discuss about the brush tool in Photoshop, which is here, brush tool. We will create a new layer for our changes and click here. So these are the default brush tips in Photoshop. Depending on your version, it may slightly vary. If you click here and select this large thumbnail, then you can get a larger view of this brush tips. You can select any of the brush tip and pick a color from here and paint with it. Whenever you select a brush tip, then you can see the brush tip preview, but if you have the caps lock on, then you see this. So don't get confused with this one. You can do the same thing with it, but when the caps lock is off, then you can see the brush tip. So let's go here again. If you click here, so these are the brush categories that you can select from here rather than this default brush tips. You can select the calligraphic brushes, and when you select any of the category, then you find this message whether you want to replace all these default brushes with these calligraphic brushes. If you select OK, then it will replace all these default brushes. If you choose a different category and select append, then those new brushes will append below. Let's select another category, click OK. Let's delete this layer, create a new one. We can pick any of the brush from here and we can change the size of the brush, and we can also change the hardness, but for this particular brush the hardness is not available for changing. You can pick a different brush and that will allow you to change the hardness. If I select this brush tip and paint with it, then you can see this, but if we change this angle, then we can see a different angle. So using this we can change the angle of our brush, and also we can change the roundness. Let's choose a different category. Let's choose this brush tip and paint with it. You can change the blending modes from here. I have discussed in detail about the blending modes in the lesson working with layers. If you want, then you can check that out. With multiply mode, you can pick a different color and apply it. So that's the multiply blending mode. We can change the opacity of our brush. You can change the flow. If you have a pressure sensitive graphic pen, then you can enable these two options. It will allow you to increase or decrease the opacity or flow following the pen pressure. Let's delete it. Let's select a different brush tip from here. If I click here once, then you can see just one spray, but if I click and hold, you can see the same thing here. But if I enable this option and click here once, that's for one click. If I click and hold, then you can see this result. That means this airbrush option allows you to spray continuously by clicking and holding the mouse button. Let's choose a different category. Okay, now I will pick this brush tip, and if you click here, this is the brush panel. You will find different properties of the brush that you can change and apply in your design or editing. And you can select the brush presets from here. This will show you a better view of the brushes you have. Let's go to the brush panel. You can change all of these properties for your brush from here, and you will see the preview in this box. Let's uncheck all this first and start with the brush tip shape. You can change the size from here. You can change the spacing, and you can flip it horizontally or vertically. You can also change the angle and roundness from here as well. You can also select the shape dynamics and change the size jitter, minimum diameter, angle jitter, roundness, and some other options. You can select the scattering and change the scatter count. You can see a lot of variations below. You can apply texture if you want and change these properties. Let's uncheck the texture now and select the dual brush. This is an interesting option. You can apply a brush within a brush. Like we have selected a brush and we can pick another brush within that selected brush. Let's increase the opacity and flow to 100%. And we can now uncheck this first and draw. And if we select the dual brush and select a different pattern, and we can change the size, spacing. We can choose a different brush tip. We can choose a different color, and now we can draw. So it will result like this. You can choose the color dynamic that will allow you to use multiple colors instead of a selected color. You need to select the foreground color as well as the background color, and it will use this foreground and background colors to generate multiple colors dynamically. You can also change these values from here. There are some other options. You can check all this. I don't want to go through all these options. And below this line, there are 5 options. You can either check or uncheck them, and then you can paint like this. So all these are temporary changes of that particular brush tip. To keep these changes, you need to click here to create a brush preset, and we can name it Dax New. If you want it to remember this diameter, then you can check this option, but if you don't, then you can uncheck it and click OK. Let's delete it and create a new layer, and we have this brush preset here, Darks New, and now we can paint with it. But if you select the previous one and draw, then you will get the result like before. So that's it for this lesson. In the next lesson, I will show you how you can create your own brush and how you can import new brushes in Photoshop that are downloaded from online. So hope to see you in the next lesson.